Hey Cinemark fans, Dave Rispoli here with the extremely talented cast of the highly anticipated Dune Part 2. Timothy, I wonder, having spent time away from Paul, what it's like to step back into those boots, and what can we expect from him?
I've never worked on a Part 2 of something before. I've never, colored in the first 40% or 50% of a character's story and a film story and then got a chance to go back to it. So, it was thrilling, it was joyful to be back with old friends and old castmates and with Denis. And as far as what people can expect, I feel like the first Dune was sort of laying the foundation. As Denis said, it was the appetizer for the main course to come. And it was sort of setting the audience up for all this cacophony and action that's in this one.
Zendaya, I wonder, for you having just spent maybe more than a week shooting the first part,
thankfully.
Yes, now weeks on end spending in the desert, what was that transition like for you to now live in this world?
I felt incredibly lucky, to be honest. I think the first time we did the film, I just was yearning so much to come back. And also I think just from a purely fan perspective, I watched it and I was a fan of the film and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I wasn't there for most of it, so I didn't know how they made it, how they shot it, what the sets looked like. I equally wanted to know how the movie was made and what happened behind the scenes, and I really got that experience and being able to talk to Denis and everyone, Greg, our incredible crew, everybody put so much forward to create what you see, and it was so nice to just be around, ask questions, get to know everyone, and also feel like you're more a part of it. But yeah, I guess just being able to have more time was really nice.
Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
Don't try to impress anyone. Nothing fancy.
I understand. Nothing fancy.
Florence, for you, experiencing probably how we all did as a spectator, what was it like to then join the world?
I fell in love with the first movie, as everybody did, and I think alongside that, you're also then aware of the hype of a movie and the love that is felt from everybody and the excitement for the second. And then I got to be a part of the second, which I felt like I was a fan that got to go and visit the set for a day. It was truly, it was really, really exciting being able to witness just how big something became and then being a part of the second one. And, similarly to Zendaya, I wasn't really in that much. I was there for my moment and then I got out, so I got to have this very special, unique time where I was completely immersed in the world, and then I didn't know how the rest of it was shot, and I didn't know about these worlds and their world and the sand. It was just
it's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and it's so totally.
That's what you guys were up to.
It also means that you just take yourself out of the equation. You watch the movie as if it's actually a really wonderful experience, because you actually then get to just appreciate the movie as opposed to being worried about this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I was watching the movie, our one, I was, I'd forget that I was in it, and I'd be like, oh God, get off the screen.
You're in the desert for weeks at a time, long, hard shoot days. I'm wondering, what do you do to kind of get yourself through?
I found it, sort of physically exhilarating, and at least on this film, the first time we went to Jordan, we went back to Hungary. This time we knocked out every interior in Hungary. So by the time we got to Jordan, we kind of had these sort of, let's say, bastions of the story, already secured. It was oh, now we get to color it in with realness, with environmental realness, with the exhaustion that comes with hiking up a cliff, just to get a 3-second shot in the scene. And just amazing views and amazing settings to be with close friends, and soak it all in. And I go, oh, we're lucky enough to work on a movie and be employed right now, but oh, we're lucky enough to work on something that's great, How
about for you, Austin? What do you lean on?
My first week was filming the sort of gladiator fight sequence, and it was 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was incredibly hot, and it was basically a gray box that was sand, and so it created an oven. And so for me, it was just leaning on the camaraderie with the crew and just knowing we're all in this together at this moment. And starting a film that way, for me, was really, it was just bonding, you know, because it brings us all into this unified vision of enduring discomfort and heading for trying to tell the story in the best way we possibly can.
Well, folks, the only way to describe part 2 is absolutely epic. So make sure you get your tickets at Cinemark.com.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!